Have you ever had a feeling, a quiet, persistent whisper from deep within that the person you present to the world isn't the entire story? That the you who has a name, a job, a set of habits and opinions is just the surface? A character you've become very good at playing, but a character nonetheless. And that somewhere, beneath the hustle and the noise of daily life, there's a deeper, truer, more expansive you, waiting patiently to be known. If this feeling resonates, even a little, know that you are not alone. This is one of the most profound and universal experiences of the human journey. It's the soul's gentle knock on the door of our awareness, asking us to look a little deeper. We often get tangled up in this idea of the ego. In our culture, it's often painted as a villain. We're told to crush the ego, to let go of the ego, as if it's some kind of inner enemy we need to vanquish in heroic battle. But what if that's not the whole picture? What if this part of us isn't an enemy at all, but simply a misunderstood friend? The psychologist Carl Jung had a truly beautiful and healing way of looking at this. He saw that our conscious identity, this part we call I or me, the part that gets its feelings hurt, that feels proud of an achievement, that worries about the future, is what he called the ego. Think of your ego as the captain of your ship. It's the part of you that has to navigate the waters of everyday life. It makes decisions. It sets goals. It interacts with others. It creates a sense of stability and identity so you can function in the world. It's the part of you that got you through school, that learned your trade, that helps you pay your bills. And for that, we should have immense gratitude. Your ego is a crucial and necessary part of your psyche. It's not the bad guy. It's the manager of your conscious world, doing its absolute best with the information it has. But here is the vital distinction, the one that can change everything. The captain is not the whole ship. And even more, the ship is not the vast, mysterious ocean it sails upon. Jung suggested that deep within us, there is a center that is far more whole and complete than the ego. He called this the self. If the ego is the conscious captain, the self is the wise, silent, guiding intelligence of the entire ocean. It's the totality of who you are, your conscious mind and your vast unconscious. It's the light and the dark, the known and the unknown. It is the core of your being, the source of your deepest wisdom, your creativity, and your profound sense of connection to life itself. The problem is never that we have an ego. The problem, the source of so much of our anxiety, our feeling of being lost or stuck, is when we mistake the ego for the self. It's when the captain of the ship forgets he's sailing on a vast ocean and thinks he is the only thing that exists. The captain becomes rigid, terrified of storms, obsessed with maps, and deaf to the wisdom of the currents. He believes his small vessel is all there is, and so he defends it ferociously. This is what it feels like in our lives. When we are identified only with our ego, we become brittle. Our sense of worth gets attached to our job title, our relationship status, our successes, our appearance. We get defensive in conversations. We desperately need to be right. We feel small and separate. Life becomes a performance, an endless effort to maintain and protect this small, fragile identity. Does that sound familiar? It's an exhausting way to live, but the invitation from the self is always there. It speaks to us not in loud commands, but in quiet whispers. It communicates through dreams that haunt and fascinate us. It speaks in the language of intuition, that gut feeling, that sense of knowing without knowing how you know. It emerges in moments of awe when you're looking at a star-filled sky or listening to a piece of music that breaks your heart open, and for a moment, you forget your name and your worries, and you just are. The self is the source of that deep calling you might feel towards a more authentic life, a path with more heart. It's the part of you that knows what is truly right for you beyond logic and social expectation. Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." What I believe he meant by this in the simplest terms is that as long as we are only living from the small island of our ego, we will be pushed and pulled by these deep, unseen currents of the self, our hidden patterns, our wounds, our unlived potential, and we'll feel like a victim of circumstance. We'll call it bad luck. We're just the way life is. But the journey of healing and wholeness is about building a bridge between the ego and the self. It's about teaching the captain of the ship to listen to the ocean, to respect its power, to learn its language, to trust its wisdom. The goal isn't to fire the captain. It's for the captain to realize he is in service to something far greater and more magnificent than his own plans. When the ego begins to align with the self, a beautiful shift happens. Your sense of identity is no longer based on external validation, but on a deep, unshakable inner center. You can still have goals and ambitions, but they come from a place of joy and purpose, not fear and lack. Failure becomes a lesson, not a catastrophe. You become more flexible, more compassionate, both with yourself and with others, because you see that we are all on the same journey. The ego becomes a loyal and trusted servant to the soul. It uses its skills for planning and action to bring the whispers of the self into the real world. This is the path of becoming truly, wholly yourself. So be kind to your ego. Thank it for getting you this far. It's been a faithful protector. But also create space for silence. Listen for the quieter voice. Pay attention to your dreams, your intuition, the things that give you a sense of genuine wonder. Ask yourself, what is my deeper self trying to tell me? The journey isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering and reconnecting with the wholeness that has been there within you all along. I'm so curious to know, in what quiet moments do you feel most connected to that deeper part of yourself? It could be in nature, through art, or in a quiet moment of reflection. Please feel free to share your thoughts below. It's a beautiful thing to learn from one another. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me. Remember to be kind to all the parts of you, especially the part that is trying its best to navigate the complexities of life each and every day. Wishing you peace on your journey inward.